I'm Dan Fitzpatrick at stockmarketmentor.com on Thursday, May 16th. And what's this goofy chart here? Okay, we're looking at 6 candles of Quintiles Transnational. The company just went public back here on the 9th. And you're wondering, hey, how do I trade this thing? Well, it sure looks like a buy, doesn't it? But we don't have much to go on. So here's what you want to do when you're looking at these IPOs. You want to look at the daily chart, that's fine. Weekly chart doesn't really help you too much. So the daily chart's really all you have to go on, right? Well, not so much. If we zoom in, all we're really looking for is more periods here. Okay, we only have 6 periods because we're looking at a day chart. All right, if we look at a 15-minute chart, guess what? We have a lot more. Now, all of a sudden, this makes sense. Volume. This stock is not that heavily traded, and you'll see these green spikes. When do they come into play? First thing in the morning. Here, first thing in the morning. Here, first thing in the morning. Back here, not so much. Here, late in the day. But you can see we get most of the volume first thing in the morning. And all of a sudden, this chart makes sense, doesn't it? You can see how as the stock trends higher, it pops up in the morning and then trades sideways. Pops up in the morning, then trades sideways. Pops up in the morning, ultimately ends, kind of flat. I mean, yeah, okay, it traded up a little bit. Well, guess what? Nothing's perfect. Here, stock opened up, traded up very quickly, and then drifted a bit lower during the day, but a lot of stocks were doing that. And so the pattern is very clear. So what do we do with this? What are you going to do with this pattern? Well, what you want to do, frankly, is be buying this at the end of the day. You want to be buying it near the end of the day. And then as long as this pattern holds true, you're good to go. Now, with that said, this is still in the early stages of what I would call feeding frenzy time here, where the stock is just moving up. Everybody's a winner. It hasn't rested hardly at all. So we could see this stock peak out just a bit in the short term. So I want you to be careful of it. But one reference that you can use, and I've talked about this before, I'm pretty sure in this venue, but I definitely talk about it a lot in the Stock Market Mentor Premium section, and that is using the intraday lows as a reference for selling and buying. Now, I'm talking about this as a trade. If you're in a longer term position, this is silly. You're going to get shaken out like every 5th or 6th day. But here you'll see that the intraday low marked the low in this stock. And ever since then, each day, the bulls, the buyers, have been more persistent than in the past. They've been so persistent in wanting to buy that the stock has never made a lower intraday low. So what is our mark for today? Our mark for today is 45.60. As long as Quintiles does not trade below 45.60, then this pattern remains intact. It can be a little bit worrisome if you're really committed to this stock, because the stock gapped up and then closed down, had a lower close versus the open. That's the first time it's done that since the opening day of trading, which that's typically what stocks do then, which is why you're not supposed to short them. So anyway, this is what you want to do. Again, just watch the low here. You can enter this stock now with a very tight stop. If the stock falls below 45.60, that's what, 25 cents from where it closed. Then this is a trade that's going to work. But just enter lightly. Don't pile in all at once, because that pattern of gapping up and trading sideways will end. At one point, it may gap up and just get crushed, or it may gap down and start falling. So I want you to be careful, but this is a pretty safe way to make short-term trades, because you totally define your risk before you even enter the trade. Keep your stop right about there. If the stock falls down to it, you get stopped out for a small loss. Too bad, so sad. But if the stock keeps running, you got a pretty good entry with a very, very easily defined risk. Okay, members, over to the strategy session. Got a lot of stocks to cover. A lot of stocks are peaking. Okay, so I'm going to tell you how to manage some of those because I don't want you holding on too long.